This week we are studying about arguments, understanding arguments. Here's a claim: I'm the best candidate for student body president. But on its own, this isn't an argument. What we need is the answers to, oh yeah, who says so, or why. Here's another claim: being a father is hard. And you might answer, I agree, but what makes you say that? On what are you basing your statement? Here's another claim: working at a bakery is better than working at a restaurant. That makes you want to know, what makes you say so? And those two things together, the claim and the support, the evidence, is what makes up an argument. Okay. Arguments are persuasive passages that are trying to sway the reader to the author's point of view on a subject, or at least give the reader a good understanding of that side, make it a reasonable argument. Okay, a good argument has a point. We'll also call that a claim, and it has relevant and adequate support. We'll look at those two. And often it has a conclusion at the end that's going to restate that claim or point. Not always will it have that conclusion, but when you're reading, you can look for it as a way to make sure that you know what the claim is. Okay, why do we want to study arguments? Well, beyond just being able to read a textbook, I think it's really important to learn to read critically and to learn to think clearly and for yourself, because you are going to be deciding if you believe what the author is saying or not. It will also help you a lot if you're going on to 1101 or 0989 to learn how to write clearly. And if you understand an argument, the author's points that they're trying to make, you are going to understand and remember what you read better. So this will help you in every class you take from here on out. Okay. The key to understanding is to do a simple outline of the argument. You put down the author's ideas in your own words, put them simply. So first you need to find the author's claim or the main point, and then number and restate the author's support. But at the end, this is really important. You make a decision if the evidence is persuasive to you. So we're going to look at this passage and go through it and make an outline of it. And I'll read it out loud here. Rap should be essential to the high school English curriculum in urban public schools. In a recent media survey of students attending the 2 urban high schools, rap was rated as the favorite musical choice. Education researcher Deidre Paul promotes rap as a valid literary genre alongside traditional poetry as a means of linking culture of students to educational content. This will make them more engaged and successful. If students in urban high schools love to rap so much, then those who typically would not engage in studying older works, like Shakespeare, might find rap lyrics a powerful source of statements about life. If a major reason we ask them to read older literature is to consider life themes that seem ageless and universal across cultures and social groups, why not consider the same themes through rap music? There are many rap songs that present social tensions and raise issues about the role of women, love, money, and life and death. These are all themes that we could find in Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet. Within culturally diversive urban schools, using rap alongside traditional literature can aid in the analysis of complex academic tests in ways that students might find meaningful. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is look for the claim. I'll give you a second. Can you find it? It's pretty easy in this one. Right there, first sentence. Rap should be essential to the high school English curriculum in urban public schools. So I'm going to write it down in our outline, and I'm going to put it in my own words really simply. Rap should be used in high school English classes. All right. We're going to go back and look at it and see that the next sentence says, in a recent media survey of students attending the 2 urban high schools, rap was rated as the favorite musical choice. Okay, that's not the same point as it's not related to the sentence after it, so it's a point on its own. So there's a media survey saying that rap is a favorite musical choice. So we're going to go ahead and put that as point 1. Rap is popular, right? In the survey, rap was the highest rated musical genre. And just saying that there's a survey gives this more credence to our brains that, oh, they've done some work and what students really like. The next sentence is about an education researcher, and she, in her role is in education, says that it's a good idea to promote that alongside traditional poetry as a means of linking culture to students, the students' culture with educational content. And then I put, this will make them more engaged and successful, because that second sentence there in green is explaining the first one. It's putting it into context for us. So that's our second. So an educational researcher, I'm sorry, that's a typo there, says it's a great thing to use to link cultures. And then I put, she cites an expert, and that gives credibility to her test. An expert thinks that this is a good idea. It gives credibility to her point. Let's go look at 3. If students in urban high schools love rap so much, then those who wouldn't really want to study things like Shakespeare might find rap just a powerful source about the same kind of information. So I went ahead and put that as the next one. Students get more engaged, because that's kind of the main point. If you're not going to engage students with Shakespeare, you can get them engaged with rap. And then the next point I found was all of this in blue here about the themes that are in both in rap music and in the older literature like Shakespeare. So here I just put number 4. It teaches the same, another typo. Teaches the same life themes as does Romeo and Juliet, and she's a list of the themes. And that takes us down to the last sentence here. And let's see, is it another point or is it a conclusion? Within culturally diverse urban schools, so it's the same here, urban public schools, urban schools, using rap alongside traditional literature can aid in the analysis of complex academic texts in a way that students might find meaningful. So it's the same point as the original claim up at the beginning here, but it's just fleshed out a little bit, gives you a little bit more information. So I went ahead and put that as the conclusion. Using rap along with traditional literature will help students connect with the difficult texts. So here we've got a simple outline of this argumentative paragraph. And what's the next step that we need to take? We need to say, are these points relevant and adequate? Do they convince you, or at least make the author's point reasonable? So, what do relevant and adequate mean? Well, relevant just means, are all the points appropriate and supportive of the claim that the author is making? And adequate is just, is there enough evidence? But also think in your head as you were reading, are there points which were left out? Sometimes there are counter arguments which the author should have addressed. If your brain automatically says, but wait, they won't have time to study the great works of literature if they're always studying rap music. And where is the balance? How do you do this? If you have counter arguments like that coming into your head, you think, well, she should have addressed those in order to convince me. So are the points relevant? And is there enough? And have they covered everything that you wanted to hear about the argument? So those are the two things you should ask. And what do you think? Were they relevant? Well, I think that all of this is relevant to the point. I really do. Just the fact that students connect with rap and they have some of the same themes in it. Are they adequate? I think probably so. I think they could have answered a question that somebody who thought that it was a waste of time might bring up, or even quoted somebody who thought it was a waste of time. But I think they're adequate. I would add it to my curriculum in a limited way if the students asked for it. So that if there was time and it wasn't a summer course with only 8 weeks in it. So I'm going to say that yes, they're relevant and adequate for me. Now that you might have a different point of view. All right, so there's the information on where I got these great colorful slides. So we're going to do arguments this week, and I hope you read this at the beginning. Go through chapter 8. It's not that difficult, I think, this week, and I wish you luck and have a great week.